Board games. We might talk about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. We are traveling in the car. We've come a few hundred miles, which is not as far as the person I met from Estonia. They gave me a game while we were there, and I went and saw lots of stuff. To be honest, it didn't seem long enough. I could have stayed for a couple of weeks, but we are a bunch of game-loving freaks. Board games, that's what we're talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. I am Bez, this is Bezzy Beats and Board Game Leather from my phone, literally from the road, and episode 570, well, 30 until the 600. After Airecon, a road trip back to London with Daksha, who you can sort of see in the back, and Josie, who you can sort of see staring at the road. Don't look at the camera, Josie.
Look at the camera.
Thank you, Josie. Keep us safe. Be a good driver. And you can see there's the countryside rolling past. So we are actually in a moving car. It's not just CGI. I don't have the budget for that. Anyway, I just realised that I need to edit this thing. But so, what has been going on? What is, recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. So this is basically what we're talking about, recent highlights. What was your recent highlight, Daksha? Airecon? Did you enjoy that?
I loved it. I had a ball.
Yes, Airecon, it was just the thing. And hello, Timmy, from Nova Scotia. It's lovely to have you here. Here it is very sunny. It is actually fairly warm in this car. I think it's
cold outside, yeah.
There's heating on, and thanks to the wonders of 4G, mobile phone roaming and infinite internet, we are able to bring you the news that Airecon, just to reiterate, that's air with an E at the end, based on the river E, based on the river Air. I'm so sorry. It has been a long weekend. I am pretty exhausted. I might not look at it. But I am very.
But I'm not doing words anymore.
Apparently, in Nova Scotia, it is -7 centigrade.
Wow, okay, it's 11 degrees here.
Yes, we feel very privileged to be in such a relatively warm country compared to the freezing north.
Wow, yeah.
Where it freezes basically all year round from what... It's horrible.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, I complain about the cold here, but I do not envy you. Oh my gosh, Timmy, But anyway, let's carry on and talk about the recent highlights and all those things, if I can. So, recent highlights, living life and see the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. I got it in a little thing down below. I wrote them down this morning. So, what did I say? Oh yeah, great 2 p.m. event. I think that went really well. I decided at the last minute to not just do 2 rounds of Wibbell, but to say, okay, we're doing 1 round of Wibbell, 2 rounds of Grabbell, which is super fast, so people learn it, and then 1 round of Categorickell between the 2 winners. It felt fairly short and snappy. It was still half an hour, I think. And then the 2 people who won were super happy. I gave them free games between the 2 of them. I gave everyone a promo card. I think it's really nice to have those promo cards. So it's something special for sitting down. And maybe I'm almost thinking I might want to take a few extra stickers. So there's some stickers that no one else at the convention gets. So that might be a nice thing. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Stream Elements is telling me to stretch. I mean, actually, I can do a proper stretch. I hadn't thought to stretch in the car, but it is a reasonable kind of request, just kind of wriggling the shoulders, rolling the shoulders. Thank you, past Bez, for reminding me. What else did we do? I had some lovely pork yesterday for my lunch. What did you have? I know you're a vegan. Josie, what did you have?
I had the pumpkin curry. It was absolutely delightful from the same stall as your pork.
So I think that out of the 3 stalls that I went to, like I went to, on the first day I had poutine, the meaty poutine. I think the meat.
I had the vegan one too.
Yes, they did. But I think that the vegan one didn't have enough bits in it. The meaty poutine had like 3 additional things. Whereas the vegan one only, even if you got it with all the bits, it only had 1 additional thing.
Oh, did it? Oh, I didn't know that. It was very tasty as the vegan one, though.
Well, like, I think that my one, it felt like, wow, this is a big meal. I was surprised how full a meal it felt. On the second day, I had the lamb wrap. That was okay. I wouldn't go back there again.
Yeah, I felt the same.
But you were from the Greek place, right?
Yeah, mine was the Greek.
Mine was the birds.
Oh, it's the meaty one.
Yeah, it was different. And yeah, Timmy is saying poutine's pretty good. Quebecois. Shouts out to all the Canadians out there.
Yeah.
I have to admit, like, I had never had.
Congratulations on making poutine.
Congratulations, yes. Well done on your country today.
Yeah, inventing
Yes.
poutine, yeah.
And in case you're wondering, you can see the face of Josie, who is sometimes Finchy Finch in Twitch. And we have become friends basically through the Twitch. It's really lovely. And I am blessed. I feel, you know what, I want to. So the other things I wrote down is lovely Wagamama, that was lovely. Laughing and joking, meeting Leigh, like our server, who we had lovely jokes with, and we encourage him to come to the convention next year. Meeting Andrew H and seeing Nabil and having a lovely chat about the convention as a whole, and talking in the cold. I think it was pretty cold, and I did have pretty thin tights on. I was literally shivering for quite a bit of that. But if it wasn't for you, I would have stayed out a little bit longer. I'm not gonna lie. There were a few folk who were just excited to try the new things, who already knew me. There were some returning customers who said, oh, I love this, and they just kept coming back. And there were some late customers. I feel we did well by keeping everything out. I did make at least, I know it's a small amount, but I sold £20 at least worth of stuff by delaying our packing down by about 5 minutes. I think that was very much worth it. And, you know, everyone else, it's tempting to be like, okay, this is the time we can finish up, but you kind of want to keep going up until the last minute. And, yeah, what else? Oh, yes, some just people enjoying it, and we did a good job packing up. I think we were really efficient as a team.
Yeah.
And I think that that's overall, going back to recent highlights, not just yesterday, but overall at Airecon. I just want to say once more, thank you Daksha and Josie for being parts of this, and thank you for sort of being, without other helpers, I would have been able to go there, I would have been able to sell stuff, I would have been able to interact with people, but not nearly to the same extent. I would have been exhausted, I wouldn't have been able to do as much, I wouldn't have had as much fun. I didn't really get a chance to wander around, but I did get 10 minutes here, half an hour to stay away from the stand and trust that Josie and everyone else, like I left Josie in charge of the stand, but that's not to denigrate from Tom and Ian and Daksha and Steve. And everyone learned the games really well. I think everyone did a good job at generally guiding people through the way, rather than saying, these are all the rules, now we play the game. It's like about gently guiding people along the way. And yeah, that's my overall thoughts on everything. So, Josie, do you have anything that you would like to say?
Well, first off, thank you for thanking us, Bez. best highlight of the weekend was probably giggling last night in Wagamama's with everybody. It was a really nice way to finish their week.
Oh yeah.
The weekend, yeah.
That was the one game that I played that was not my own game. I got a copy of Mathflux, which I don't normally enjoy such a low interaction, high chaos game. But for that time in the evening, we were completely exhausted. So we played something where when you're not taking your turn, you are allowed to chat. And no one cares too much. I mean, unless it's your turn, in which case we care a little bit.
Yeah.
Even if it's your turn and you're delaying it by chatting to the server and having a bit of a giggle, that's okay, because the game is a background. It's like background music, kind of.
Yeah, it was good. But we did also play Whimsical as well.
Yeah.
And, that
We
was
got
quite
really
funny.
into it. We
Yeah.
were really focusing on that.
Yeah.
I mean, my games are things that you have to focus on, I would say. But at the same time, I think that a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after someone makes noises to give it its full title is quite a relatively relaxed, relatively chill game. I don't think you have to be willing to make noises, but not much beyond that. Yeah, I think that what would I do differently? What I would do differently next time is definitely booking accommodation earlier. I would definitely book accommodation for at least 4 people. I think I might next year book 2 rooms in that place, and then if we have 4 people again, then everyone gets a bed. If we have 5 people, I would rather have the extra volunteer and take the couch again.
Bring a camp bed.
I could, but the couch was actually alright. Apparently they did upgrade us because we were meant to be in the studio, so because I guess they must have just not been fully booked, which is slightly surprising. Like, you'd think that they would put their prices at the point where they are fully booked, but whatever the reason. However the economies work, apparently, yeah, they gave us an upgrade, so there was a little bit more separation between the bedroom and the living room. So there was a curtain, there wasn't even a door.
It was okay. It was fine. It was alright. It was fine. It all worked fine.
Yeah, and yeah, I would definitely book that, and then that would save like probably 400 quid. So it's, yeah. But I think that, again, if we were one less fewer than how many we had,
yeah,
I would not have enjoyed it. But yes, I don't think there's much more that I can say about Airecon. Airecon was good. Yeah, I'm willing to say publicly that I grossed about £650, £700, I think, but that's way less than I spent on the stand, on advertising myself, sponsoring the Bring and Buy. Was that a good decision? I don't know. I don't think so, business-wise. I don't think that brought any more people in. I think that if I was a big company with money to burn, essentially, I think it would have been fine. If I was a tiny company, ironically, but I had money and I needed big exposure suddenly, that might have been good. But as it is, I've kind of spent my years. I've been here since 2016, literally since there were 200 people here. Everyone's seen me on the UK convention circuit. Everyone basically knows me. I don't think I need to advertise myself in the programme or in the Bring and Buy. Whilst it's definitely good to get myself out there to reviewers, to interviewers, that's still a very important thing, but promoting myself within the convention, I don't think there's any point.
No, I don't think you needed to be in the programme, particularly.
Like the Bring and Buy came with the free programme thing, so I can't remember the cost right now, but honestly, it was a little bit of an ego trip.
Unless next time, when you do that with the programme, you put something in that says something like, come to the stall and show us your programme, and then you get X, Y, or Z. That's how they get the promo card. So it makes them have to come to the stand or something.
Like, the programme, as it was just, hey, you deserve some stuff by Bez.
Yeah.
And here's some pictures of a couple of the games. One was about making noises, one about a game about quickly grabbing creatures that sorts of difference and counting your beetroots. And I think that it looked good. I think that when people saw that, it was, oh, Bez is doing new stuff. That's basically all I wanted to say with that. That yes, I'm here, but I've also got new stuff. And when people would have passed by anyway if they were at all interested. And I think seeing the new Bezzy bargain bags, and over the course of the next year, if I do end up making at least 4 more things, then next year, yeah, might not even be demoing any of the things that I have right now. I'd be focusing on the newer things. And it's always a difficult question of what do you spend your money on, what's going to see a return. And sometimes I think it is important to have a whimsy budget. Back in the day, I decided I've got a £500 whimsy budget. I call it business expenses, but I don't need to justify it directly. Like when I had a cat gallery, I spent money on a big wall where people put stickers. I had to pay £300 for that.
Yeah.
It probably didn't get me £300 in sales, let alone £300 in money coming back. It did long term, that could be marketing, but that's not the kind of thing that I can really financially justify. But if I say, honestly, and this is the truth, that was fun to do. I really enjoyed having 2,000 cat stickers, and then I'm not going to do it again because at this point there's too many, but like if we bring it out every 5 years, I think that would be quite fun. And it's a similar thing with the balloon machine. That cost me €500, and I decided that that was within my whimsy budget. I don't actually spend my entire whimsy budget necessarily. I mean, I don't think last year, my entire going to UK Games Expo was my whimsy budget. Genuinely, I didn't know, was I going to make any money back at UK Games Expo. As it happens, I did. I was quite surprised. I was expecting it to be really quiet. But
And it wasn't.
yeah, like it was quiet, but because there were fewer exhibitors, I was busier than usual. I was busier compared to how big my stand was. Do you know what I mean? I was really impressed. I had 10, 11, 12 people coming to my stand for the 2 p.m. events. I know, and that's a vague way to measure how much excitement I've generated by how many people come specifically for the 2 p.m. events. Here, on the last day, there were people specifically for that. That's what I want. Like every day, people think, Bez has got a 2 p.m. event. We will go there. We are going to have fun. We might get a free thing, but it's all about going there and having a bit of a laugh. And maybe I should make a 2 p.m. event special promo card that you only get by coming at 2.
That's a good idea.
Oh, I like that.
A 2 p.m. event card.
Yeah, like just all the cards. Why not?
With everyone's a winner.
Oh, I like it.
Everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner.
Should it be like a card with lots of bodies, but they're all kind of connected? Like lots of kind of like it looks kind of like. Well, maybe it would be the first card with actual multiple bodies, like wee whimsical creatures, but then multiple creatures on one card. Or is that going too far? I mean, it's a promo card, so it can be a little bit crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually 2 creatures on one card, just for the 2 p.m. events one. Oh, I like this. You hear, like, we've been brainstorming in this car, and just earlier on, like, honestly, that's what I feel like this year's whimsy budget. I could call that my whimsy budget. The paying money to sponsor the Bring and Buy. It might have been my last Airecon. I'm definitely going to be there next year.
Yeah, you better be, because I'm planning on going with you.
But then next year might be the last one. Because I'll move to Thailand next year, not this year. disappointed in me moving.
Yeah.
I'll miss you
I've
too.
made a new friend and you're going to go.
I'll miss you too. But genuinely, I was talking Josie into coming to Cambridge with me to help me pick up the balloon machine. But in all seriousness, it would be really nice to go to Heffers and hang out and play games. And the person that I know in Cambridge is a fun person that I would also probably
Okay, good.
So it was brilliant. That's all. I'll talk more about it probably on Wednesday.
I had a fabulous time.
Yeah. Tomorrow, yep. And that's like the recent highlights, so it's been pretty long start. So let's talk about brilliant thing. What's the little thing which is brilliant? Someone else driving. I think that, someone driving and being in a car, you can see a steering wheel here, and you move it left and right, and then it's at high speed. It can carry stuff. You can go definitely at, it can take loads. It's like 100 horses. I mean, that's what they literally say.
It is amazing. It is amazing when you think about it, yes. I have no idea.
That's how they used to talk about it.
It is, I don't know.
Like,
I probably should know, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Lots of horsepower, there we go.
The point is, like, if you think about it, like, the amount of energy it would take the horses to go from Harrogate to London, it's a 4-hour journey, and we are going 70 miles an hour. You couldn't get a horse to do that.
No.
I mean, a horse goes, what, like 30 miles an hour, I'm guessing?
I don't know, but they go, no, they must go faster than that at full speed.
Really? Like, Forest Estate for, like, I mean, like,
Well,
I don't know,
yeah,
like,
I don't know.
30 miles an hour is surprisingly
Are
fast.
there any horsey people watching the stream?
Yeah, if you know, then please let us know how fast does a horse go. Or if you fancy Googling it quickly, so you don't have to.
Google it. Google how fast.
But yeah, cars are brilliant. Moving quickly, getting you to spaces, and it's not self-powered. Dependent, so to speak. If you are asked questions from like follow, but I am going to, because I've already talked a lot about Airecon, I don't think there's anything more to say, so I'm going to ask the question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. What's your favourite thing about the last convention you went to?
Go back to Airecon quickly. Look at that.
Yeah. So, if you were not at Airecon and you're watching this, what was the last convention you were at? What was your favourite bit about it? Or multiple favourite bits? Oh my gosh, picking one is so difficult. But I am going to say drinking at a long pack party. There wasn't enough pizza there. They had like 7 pizzas. It was a small amount of pizza. I had like 4 pizzas. I'm going to admit, I went home that night and I think I actually had a second meal. I went back and then I had 2 glasses of cereal. I decided to put my cereal in a glass because I wouldn't spill it. True story.
Were you slightly drunk?
I may have been marginally drunk, but also it was, the bowls are all quite shallow. And I felt like I started off drinking milk and I was like, actually, I want a snack. So I already made the glass dirty. So it felt appropriate. I think I might make a habit of it in places with insufficiently big bowls. Because thankfully in my own place, I do have 3
Deep bowls.
3 good, massive bowls that I only need to fill half of them for a good meal. I mean, that's what I'm looking for in a bowl. Something that you could get 3 people eating out of the same bowl.
Yeah, good bowl.
And having that could be a small meal for 3 people in one bowl. I don't want one of these tizzly bowls that you have cereal in, and you've got to leave a centimetre under the rim, right?
Yeah, but otherwise it flushes out.
Yeah, but yeah, problematic bowls in our place.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is, I really enjoyed being there. Dave Salisbury, lots of people just chatting away. I enjoyed all the people who came up. I enjoyed Giant in a Bond, also known as Yogi Stock Guru. Timmy wants cereal apparently. You know, Timmy, if you're at home, I trust that you have good bowls, unlike us at our Airbnb where we had terrible bowls. Can we all agree that they were terrible?
They were shallow bowls, yes. They were like breakfast bowls. That's what they're called, aren't they? But, yeah.
But I mean, look, I don't want a bowl where I put one piece of wheat to mix in, and I want a bowl where I can have 4. Like, did you see the bowl statue?
I didn't see the bowl, but I'll tell you what I did see. Our neighbour's bowl of cereal. It was in a quality street box.
Oh
yes, I do. I saw them. So
that's really clever.
At the con, yes, they brought it with them. They brought it in a quality street box.
That's very clever.
I asked him what was inside, and it was bran flakes and fruit, apples and bran flakes.
They poured milk into it.
He said, "Oh, I can't tell the difference between milk and water, so I just use water."
Oh wow!
Wow.
Was that Ian?
It was yes, it was Ian. Yes.
Wow. Yes. They have a taste thing, but I do admit I do love high intensity tastes. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering now, thinking about peanut butter, thinking about anchovies. Like I've never had peanut butter mixed with anchovies.
Make it work, salty.
Going back to horsepower, this car has 100 horsepower.
Does it?
Well done, thank you.
Thank you. Timmy says, I have plastic bowls you get from microwavable dinner. Cereal water is disgusting, says Timmy.
I am actually with you, Timmy. Cereal with water does sound absolutely wrong.
Timmy uses 10% blend cream. Wow.
Wow. That's
so you're saying not even milk, but you actually blend the cream.
Wow, that's
with
like
the
super.
Wow. I go for full fat milk. Like if I'm trying to be a bit healthier, I might go for semi-skimmed or potentially skimmed. But I will generally, I mean, I could see that being really decadent and good.
Especially over like some really good granola.
18% cream too sometimes. How do you get... Wait, is this a Canadian thing? Is that like 18% fat milk?
It must be. Like
because how could you be so... Because in the UK, we don't talk about... Are you just talking about the way that the milk comes out? Because here we just talk about semi-skimmed, skimmed, or full fat. Yeah.
Or gold top.
A gold top, which has extra cream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't actually milk cream mixed in it. Apparently, it's just regular milk that comes in cartons. So it's our, misunderstanding with the, the intercontinental difference. One common, we are separated by a common language, some people say. Anyway, yeah, honestly, I enjoyed being there, even though you did wake me up, when you, not you specifically, you or Steve, when you went to the loo or when you came in, but I'm good at getting back to sleep. And I actually really enjoyed the vibes of waking up with someone else in the room. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say that if I had to pick one highlight, it would be getting to know yous. Because, look, I do cover the costs and I try to make it so that you don't end up out of pocket by being there. So I paid for the accommodation and the travel, and by being there you might have spent slightly more on food than if you were at home. But honestly, if someone were to come and say, hey, this 30-40 pounds makes a difference between me being, if someone's in that,
I apologise, that was my phone.
If someone's in that kind of financial situation, then and they are able to do a bit of extra work, then obviously I'd sort something out with them. But I think that meeting people who ended up super enthusiastic about everything and are willing to come back. I mean, I've not checked in with Daksha, to be fair. So I'm not, hey, I wasn't going to ask you on camera because that would be awkward. That's like,
Yeah, no. I'd come back. Seriously, I had such a good time. And I don't normally wear this colour red, but I really enjoyed being red for 3 days. So all wrapped up in chiffon red, having a velvet fez, and then wearing my Santa hat. All good, and it was all full on, you know, stepping out and saying, can I amuse you with a catalogue? Can I give you a promo card? Can I demonstrate a fun game?
oh yeah,
Would you
I
like
want
to
to
grab some stuff?
commend you on how you gave away all. Do you want to talk about how you found a extra stash of promo cards right at the end in the last 5 minutes
Yeah.
after Josie had gone to already get the car and then you
Yeah.
gave them all away?
It was so funny. I just went, Bez, I found these. Bez went, oh, what are we going to do with them? Oh no. And then she had a bright idea. And she said, why don't you go out giving it around to all the people who are still playing games? So I got a few steps in and I walked around and I got a couple of words in with everyone. This is a card by Bez and it's for this Airecon and it's meant to be the two people who organised this event, and everyone was really pleased. Well, some people already had some, and they were really pleased to get them, and actually they were really pleased to get the story behind the promo card. And if we were doing that again, I would say maybe on the second day go around giving promo cards, and then that might encourage people to come to the store as well. So it's good fun.
That's actually a good idea. Like, get someone to kind of work until 6:30 and kind of go around. I mean,
It's just fun. You're going around, walking around. It's not even. It doesn't even feel like work. It just feels like going around, going, oh, can I give you a card? And then actually you might end up playing games with some of those people. You'll have met some of them sometime during the day. So, you know, you just don't know what the possibilities are. So don't even see it as work. Just see it as a way of going around saying hi to everyone. My sister says, yes, but whenever you go into a room, you know you talk to everyone in the room. So it's only that. It's a way of talking to everyone in the room without being too distant.
That's not the right charge plan, but there is
I am just going to take a moment to plug in my phone into a power bank. I cannot see the power energy level right now.
it's about on the phone.
Yeah, on my phone. But because of the way that StreamYard and the thing works together, but I know that it'll be running out, you know, around now if I don't charge it in.
That's a brilliant thing, power banks, there you go.
Yeah, power banks are also a brilliant thing. But yes, genuinely, the question of the day for me, the best bit was the amount of enthusiasm, hearing the stories, hearing Steve tell me. I mean, obviously, I love being complimented, but I do love it when it is meaningful. And Steve saying to me, oh, this game, a game about drawing creatures, complimenting drawings, then complimenting the compliments, could change people's lives actually and make lots of changes. And hearing someone say that, I could actually see that, but I hadn't maybe appreciated that until I'd seen it in action. I was obviously hoping that we would sell out. I mean, but it's not a big deal. Like, I mean, we didn't have that many left, did we? Like 20?
I don't know how many, but we did sell loads. Sold lots of them.
Yeah, I mean, for something that it didn't have any reviews, like when I say I want to say I've kept 5 in the I kept 5 I want to say at home because I felt that's how many I want to keep, and there's a couple of people that I'll send one to, but there were lots of reviewers, so yeah, there were maybe 10 that I gave away to reviewers.
And can I just say that for me, all the people, I love demonstrating that game, and all the people who played it with me, maybe 1 or 2 didn't, but most people were like, they went away happy. You could see that their energy had lifted, and you could see that in their eyes that they were just a little bit happier from having sat down and done a drawing and complimented the drawing and then complimented the compliments. Right.
Well, it was really good.
And this is like, you know, Daksha saying all these things, and this is the kind of enthusiasm that I really appreciate, because people understand, I think, did find their own favourite games. Like, I know that hopefully you enjoyed them all, but you're allowed to prefer some and not enjoy some others quite as much. If I had to ask you, actually, what would you say, because you've played at least 5 things from me, I want to say. So you've played the 3 Bessie bargain bags, you've both played Categorickell.
Yep.
You both played Yogi?
Yep, I have.
You've both played Wibbell. You've
Yep.
both played Grabbell.
Yep.
You both played Categorickell.
Yep.
That's like cakes. That's almost enough to do a top 10.
Yeah.
But if you had to do a top 3,
Oh.
what would you say are your top 3?
Okay, I'm not going to put them in order, but because I don't have an order and I've not thought about it long enough to make an order. But Making Noises is in my top 3. Yogi's in my top 3. And
What's it between?
so I'm struggling. So I like the L deck because it's so versatile with the different games, and I really like the Categorickell version in there because that's like a push-pull team type game, so you can add extra people in. But then I also really like the complimenting your compliments. Because I've spent a lot of time being Buddhist, so it feels like a very a type of meditation called the Metabhavana meditation, which is about sending love out into the world and being positive to perhaps people maybe you struggle having positivity and positive thoughts towards. So actually, it reminds me of that. So yeah, maybe that's my top 4. There you go, top 4.
So what about you, Daksha?
So, I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I've just thought of a variation on Categorickell.
Okay.
So it's a 2-player game, isn't it, as a tug of war?
Or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6.
So I was going to say, you could put it in an X shape and make it for people.
The tug of war more than 2 ways, it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that could be an interesting dynamic, you know, put it in and out. For me, in terms of drawing creatures, complimenting the drawings and then complimenting the compliments, really good. Because people come out of themselves and everything, and I love that kind of thing. The L deck, great for demonstrating 2, 3, 4 games with 1 or 2 people, and because
But I'm asking about specific games, so you don't get to pick the L deck.
Well, I really like Grabbell and Categorickell.
Okay.
It's good, quick, easy games to show and play and have fun. And then it's a segue into something a little bit more thinky, I actually really enjoy both playing and teaching the vegetables, all of them. I've played with 3 packs, and the chaos was interesting. And I would say the thing you need to do is stand up, because then you can
Absolutely.
all
Yeah, reach your
sounds
hand
a little
out.
bit more. But yeah, no, those are my 3.
Can I come back to
That's
recent
like 5.
highlights? Recent highlights?
Sorry.
No, it's all good. And can I just say,
It's really 5.
can I just say that I find it really nice that Josie had the noises and Daksha didn't, and you know there was a little bit of commonality, but there was a little bit of variance as well, and I really like that. And yeah, so the question of the day, it's having people like this who are so enthusiastic about my stuff. You wanted to say a recent highlight, Josie?
Yeah, can I come back to recent highlights? Just because when we're then thinking about the games, one of my recent highlights was waiting for Ultimate Werewolf to start and it taking too long, and then us all sitting around as gamers, sitting around kind of bored, going, what should we do? Which made me giggle, because it's like we're at a board game convention, we can play games. And then nobody had a game, but then you pulled the L deck out of your pocket and we played Phrasal for a while. And actually, that was really nice.
Yeah. Did you have any recent highlights you wanted to share, Daksha?
Well, one of my friends actually came to Airecon because I was in the north and I was at Airecon. So she brought her daughter and she brought her husband. And on our Saturday 2 p.m. event, I roped her in thinking Amy would enjoy it. But in actual fact, Amy kind of went and I did drawings with her. And Kate went and won the tournament. Even though
Amazing.
she didn't even look like
Oh, that
she
was your friend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like my
Okay.
friend from university. Like we met in the first week at university and we've been firm friends ever since. Don't see each other very often. And she came to Airecon so she could spend my break with me, but actually I roped her into the game and she won. And then she, as well as like taking the games that, you know, sort of you said take a couple of games because you won, and that's great, but she then bought a couple as well, so there you are. So that's one of my actually personal favourite because
And that's one of
my
your
friend.
highlights from the last convention that you went to.
So my last
Yes.
convention that I went to. Can I just say it's also my second convention that I went to?
What was your first?
Games Expo in
2019?
August.
Oh, 2021.
Yeah, because
Oh, wow.
because it was in Birmingham and I wasn't getting on trains, but a friend from Games Club was going up, and so I got a lift. Got a lift there and back and spent a day at Expo, and then I got a weekend with the family. Next time, I'm going to try and get several members of my family to come down because they now all play games as well. So there you go.
So, that is what we've enjoyed. So, yeah, whether you're watching right now or after the fact, and I do have to say, if you're watching on Twitter, apparently the Twitter comments aren't quite working.
Oh.
So, someone told me that they left some comments on Twitter, but I couldn't actually see them, which is a shame. But if you do a reply to the tweet, apparently there's also another place that you can comment, but it doesn't quite work. But if you do a normal reply to the tweet, obviously I'll see it as a normal tweet. But yeah, anyway. But anyone who's watching now or after the fact, what was something you enjoyed from the last convention you went to? And as I always like to finish up with, over to you. What are you up to? You can share with us only if you want to. I am going to be in the car with Josie, who is being very lovely and driving, and you can see lots of graffiti maybe just about.
Oh, wow.
That's
It's
quite cool.
beautiful.
And then going to get to my place, I will move all my stuff on the stairs to be carry on communally putting things into a balloon. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. A game about simultaneously deciding what to put into a balloon. And it's a cooperative game. Possibly, it might be totally different, but it's going to involve balloons. We've decided that I need to make a game about balloons in the next game, basically.
Yes. That's my
And-
request.
And so I need to make that in time for Friday to play test, and then we'll start seeing how that comes together.
That's such an airy thought.
Airy.
Airy
thought.
Oh.
You've just got inflated opinions of yourself, Bez.
I don't see why you have to deflate me like this.
This is all about lofty living. Lofty living.
Living the high life.
I mean, there are no strings attached.
It's all these ideas floating around.
This is the mood we are in. Ridiculous puns. So yes, that is what I am up to. I'm going to do that, and tonight I might or might not, depending on my energy levels, because I have just come back from a convention. If I would like to go and support my friend, who has made it into the London, I think it's called London West End Amateur Comedian of the Year.
Well done. Woo!
And so that is someone else who is also called Bez, and actually legally signed their deed poll so they could change their name to Bez.
Oh wow! Do they wear red too?
Only at conventions when they are impersonating me or working for me. But one day they did actually try and impersonate me. I had to wear fake glasses, so you were probably cosplaying as me.
I'm gonna cosplay as you, Miss. I am gonna cosplay as you.
Wear fake.
I'm gonna get glasses that are so that yeah. So
Other than big glasses.
Yeah.
I might get red glasses one of these days. It's like the one thing that's I wear at conventions that aren't red. You can see they are blue. Yeah, it's not good, is it?
No, you definitely need to get some
Need red glasses.
It is true.
My first pair of fancy glasses were red and black.
Red's a good colour.
It is.
I mean, you can just see, even now, Josie's still rocking the red.
Still working red.
There we go.
It's deep red, but it's still red.
And yeah, I might go to that. And tomorrow, and what I do actually need to do, which makes me actually slightly think, wow, I've got a lot of stuff to do, because tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. ish, I am going to launch my second Kickstarter for my not my second Kickstarter.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow. It's for my second Bezzy bargain bag.
Yay!
And this is for a game about quickly grabbing creatures that are totally different and counting your vegetables. Wherever you are in the world, please back it for £1. It is going to be worth it, because you will get the print and play files of many graphical versions of this game. You'll get the full colour turnips, which in retrospect, if I'd scanned them or asked Chris to scan them before I'd coloured them in, that would have been nice. But you'll get the black and white beetroots, the red colour beetroots, the black and white radish version, and also a radish version that I've used oil pastel on. I don't know how it will turn out, but I'm looking forward to finding out. So yes, that is basically, you will get all that stuff, you'll get a good amount of stuff, and £1, remember, it really helps algorithmically. Doing that, leaving a comment saying, hey, good luck with this, it matters so much, and it makes it look good, it gets other people excited. That will it's like an exponential thing. The more people who back, the more people who back. If you get 20 people on your first day, you might end up with 40. If you get 1,000 people on your first day, you're going to get at least 2,000, because it always multiplies. And anyway, that little bit of, it's just been a really good convention. Oh. Yes. What are you up to? Timmy, anyone else? Josie, Daksha, anything you want to share?
I'm driving.
And then after you get home, are you sleeping?
I probably don't have time for a nap. I've got D&D tonight, so I will be out again playing D&D.
Oh, until what time?
Probably till about 10:30.
Oh, you don't feel like you need...
I know, I really do need an early night. I'm well aware of what I need, but I have D&D.
So maybe
I
you'll
can't
be in bed
split the
at
party.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, I will be in bed early, yeah.
How about you, Daksha? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, so I can't remember what I'm doing today, but I know I'm busy.
Really?
But tomorrow is Games Club, because it's Tuesday, and then I'm doing salsa dancing on Wednesday, and on Thursday I'm doing my own hosting games night, and because I didn't go this Thursday, I have to go, last Thursday just gone, so I have to go this Thursday, because I think they might have missed me a little, and then I don't know, because that's the way life is.
Well, yeah, like normally I just talk about the next day, but full on week ahead sounds good. And so at this point, recap and wrap up before we finish up. So Airecon was good. I felt like there were some definite highlights yesterday. 2 PM event, kind of Daksha giving out everything, and generally my favourite thing out of the entire convention was all these people just helping me, getting super engaged with everything, being passionate, being awesome helpers. And I want to say yeah, brilliant things. Cards are brilliant. Josie talked. What was your? Oh yeah, the moments when we were waiting for Ultimate Werewolf to start. Oh yeah, I did play 2 games this weekend that I didn't make, not just the one. I completely forgot about Ultimate Werewolf. But anyway, while we were waiting for that, meeting Vivan and Josie kind of going over to chat to them, and then us playing Phrasal, and Daksha talking about yesterday, kind of just spreading out all these cards and getting the chance to chat to people. That was lovely. But for now, in Bez, whoops, stuff by Bez everywhere. Check me out at stuffbybez.com, stuffbybez.bigcartel.com, twitter.com/stuffbybez, instagram.com/stuffbybez, twitch.tv/stuffbybez, where I stream every day. I try to stream it every day at 10 a.m, but if I'm at a convention, I know you'll forgive me for being a few hours late one day. Stuffbybez.com/discord to join that. And if you want to find out what my future streams are about, check there. Tomorrow I am launching my next Kickstarter, and I'm probably going to be focusing somewhat on that for the next week and a half. But I will still be bringing you little bits about the emotional journey, about why we're launching at particular times, about how it's going, about how Airecon was going through the lens of this game, and all sorts of things. Share, spread the word, and most importantly, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Josie and Daksha for joining me in this show. And obviously I could go further and say thank you everyone in my life, but you know, that feels a bit superfluous. Do you have any last words, Josie or Daksha?
No.
Thank you so much. It's been a fun. Yay.
Bye bye, bye bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye bye, bye bye. Thank you for watching long. Bye bye, bye bye. This is the end of the show. Bye bye, bye bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye, bye bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye bye, bye bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye bye, bye bye. This is the end of the show. Bye bye, bye bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye.